about their films. Firstly, we have Mr. Van Pascual for Alingasngas ng mga Kuliglig or The Gossips of the Cicadae.
So, hello. Our film is about a boy named Agapito. So, Agapito, who despises him. Okay, ulit. English eh. Isa pa. So, our film is about a boy named Agapito, who's forced by his father to become the next albularyo of their town. Agapito despises his boring conventional life not until he falls in love with a tikbalang. So, that's our film titled Alingasngas sa mga Kuliglig, or in English, The Gossips of Cicadae. Ilan.
Thank you, Van. For those of you who don't know, tikbalang is an elemental, supernatural being in Filipino folklore. All right. So next up we have, okay, you have your musical scorers with you, Carl Arthur Javier and Nick Rosacay. Hi.
Say something.
Yes, hello, good afternoon to you all. For us, it was fun but challenging experience working with, two composers, two different minds, and over Zoom, yeah. And we just wanted to to fulfill Van's vision of the film. He wanted it to be like really old school silent film feel. So for the arrangement, we decided to just use primarily orchestral music, the piano and such. Yes, and we also wanted to add a little bit of myth to the score as well by using rock, hindi. Like kalimba. Yan, yeah. You have anything to say, Nick?
Ayun, just that, well, this is a very interesting film. This is actually our first time scoring like from a silent film, which is you score it from start to finish, and there's no like break in between. So was a very interesting experience. Also because of the story, the main character has felt isolated, is different. So, but this was during a time like the olden days when we had what do you call them, those healers, so. But also, it's a very timeless story because of the kind of love that the characters shared together. So we wanted to, parang in a way, I don't know how to say it in English, but to make tawid the concept of love. It's timeless. It doesn't really have an expiration date. Like this is the kind of love you have to have for this sort of period. So we wanted to reflect that in the music. Like how, I don't know. Yeah, the kind of music that we wanted to make for this film. So there was also a part where we had to do like a rock genre, like kind of like deviating from the usual orchestra. So we wanted to make it kind of special. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl and Nick. So old stories, young people. All right, good. Got it. Next up, for Dikit, we have filmmaker Gabby Serrano, who will talk about her film. Awarded filmmaker Gabby Serrano.
Hello, good afternoon to everyone. My name is Gabby Gabriela Serrano. I'm the director, editor, and co-writer of Dikit. Just to tell you a little bit about our film, for those of you who haven't seen it, it's a split-screen film that tells two parallel stories. One side being that of a manananggal, which is a local Philippine mythological creature we have here in the Philippines. She's a woman who can split her body into two, so her torso detaches from her lower half. And then the other side tells the story of a couple who move in next door to her. who she becomes obsessed with. So yeah, this is an adaptation of Jose Nepomuceno's Ang Manananggal, which is one of the earliest horror films in Philippine cinema, and our tribute to practical effects and silent cinema. And yeah, I'm just happy to present this film again with my scorer Paolo, and to be able to watch the film in person with live scoring, just like we did almost a year ago to this day. So it's very nice being able to come back to the Silent Film Festival. We've all had what like an amazing year, all four of us as filmmakers since this festival, and I just wanted to say thank you to FDCP for giving us this opportunity, and also all the international partners who have supported our films. So thank you very much, and I'm so happy to be here.
Thanks, Gabby. Gabby was figured out in the Cinemalaya Film Festival earlier this year. So the scorer, the musical scorer of Dikit, Paolo Almaden.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Well, a few words about scoring Dikit. It was really challenging because it was split screen. So a silent film alone is very difficult, challenging to score. So all the more the split screen. So it was that was the major challenge. I did score several films, of course, but it was really a unique experience. But it was really fun also working with Gabby with her vision on the film. But at least I think we delivered, and it was a fun experience. Thank you.
Thank you. And now, a film. There was one film that didn't really make it to the ISFFM 2021, but it did make it a few days after. But we're very happy that's now going to be seen on the silver screen finally for the film Tianak. I'd like to introduce the filmmaker EJ Gagui and Marinel Calma.
Hello, thank you first FDCP for inviting us over. Our film is about two scorned women. They both live in the same barrio. It is a adaptation of also Jose Nepomuceno's Tianak. It was really challenging for us to make this film because at first we really had this vision of making it live action sana, but as we all know, yung struggles of being a filmmaker amidst the pandemic last year was really restricted in terms of like the logistics and everything, and we also have like the timeline to beat. So that's the background of why we didn't really make it to the ISFFM last year. But yeah, so we turned it into an animation because we really wanted to put out this film. And yeah, so here we are presenting the film. So going back to the challenging part, aside from the timeline given, it was made during the pandemic. We didn't really have like a reference of Tianak by Jose Nepomuceno, as we all know his films were all lost and like burned during the war. So what we did was incorporate our own background, like our where we came from Pampanga. All the stories that we heard from the childhood stories that we heard from our lolas, and about the mythical creatures that we have. So yeah, that's about the animated short. I hope you would enjoy, despite not being able to like grace the screening last year. Yeah.
Sinabi po nila ni Thank you.
Man of few words. All right. Sorry. Okay. Well,